Welcome to Seen and Heard podcast. And my special guest today is Mike. We're back with Mike. Hello, Mike.
Hey guys.
We are talking about America and our racial trauma, especially in light of Jalen Walker's police cam being released today. So we are going to share from our perspectives how this continued trauma has got to stop some way somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. It's just I'm not gonna watch the like I said before. I'm not gonna watch the video because the last one I seen was a black guy was handcuffed and put in the back of the van, and the officers decide to like come to a dead stop, and he went forward in the van and pretty much paralyzed him from like the neck down. And so, and in the way that they were treating him, I was like, he was like, the opening, he was like they were like on the floor. He was on the floor. They're like, oh, what happened? What happened? And just the way they were treating him, I'm just like, he's paralyzed, obviously, and like they didn't really care of his safety after that. And I'm just like,
I remember that case. I believe didn't he end up dying because they took him to jail and then he
oh
was
yeah,
still unresponsive.
they put him in a jail cell. Actually, I think.
And then after that, he was unresponsive, and they still didn't tend to him, or to check on him or call the ambulance to check on him. And then by the time they did get him to the hospital, he
Hmm.
passed. So yeah, I
Yeah,
think I remember that case too, where
yeah.
the I think one of the drivers of that van, it was a black female. She was talking about how he was being you know, rolling around in the van like a rag doll. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, because he can't do nothing because he's handcuffed, so he can't brace himself or anything. If he wasn't handcuffed, he would have been fine. He would have caught himself.
mhm.
But like since he was handcuffed and I guess there wasn't no seatbelts in the back of the van, obviously he can't do nothing. He just pretty much slid right forward. So
I just, I can't even express the anxiety that I am experiencing right now because,
yeah,
I mean,
I mean sometimes I wish I can go back to the 2000s, and the reasons why is because no one can't handle what's going on right now.
mhm.
We have everything going on. We have everything going on all at once. We have like the LGBTQ community going on right now. We have women's rights going on right now. We have BLM going on right now. You know, and it's like, yes, some people are educating themselves, are listening and supporting, but then you have people that just want to be ignorant and be like, well, just go over it, move on. It happened a long time ago, or it is what it is. I'm like, that's the problem. It's like, you guys, even with information in front of you, with the facts of what's going on, you guys still want to be like, no, we're straight. And it's just, that's what I'm always like, I wish I could go back to the 2000s. Because at least it was simple. What I mean? At least times were simple. It's like, gay rights wasn't legal yet. They didn't really show, um, you know, because the internet wasn't really a thing back then. It was still very very new. So you didn't have everyone with the camera and post everything on the internet. You didn't have like body cam footage of like how black men and black women are mistreated when in handcuffs. You didn't see that. So you pretty much you woke up, went to school, or you um You went to work, went to theme parks, stuff like that, and you just pretty much lived your day to day life, you know, and pretty much the only you got your news was from Fox, CNN, ABC, stuff like that. Now it's like everyone has a cell phone now, right? And the information out there, all you gotta do is research, and once you research, everyone posts what they think and stuff like that, and then and how blatant the news is now. Because when I was growing up, I thought like once, um, like politicians got exposed and how stuff is really ran, I'm thinking like, oh shit, like one day that's gonna happen. Everyone's gonna wake up and be like, oh damn, like y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't for us at all. Y'all for yourselves. But now we get to this point. Now we got to that point. Now it's like still the same.
And then you would
It,
think that there would be consequences because there used to be some semblance. I'm not saying like all the time, but there was some semblance of consequences. And
yeah.
and the thing about going back to the 2000s, that I understand to a point because but the things that we're seeing because of the
Mm,
cameras
yeah.
was still happening. That was still happening.
Oh yeah, it
But the
was.
fact that it being exposed,
Yeah.
I would have thought that again there would be consequences. So,
Mm-mm.
but basically, the system is fighting against that by not holding these state sanctioned soldiers accountable. So they're basically
Mm-hmm.
still showing in our face, no matter how upset we're going to get, no protests, no marches. That's why I say we need to have like a massive economic shutdown because that's the only thing they're going to pay attention to.
Oh, it would
Then they
hurt.
also stop spending money
It would
because
hurt.
all of those companies that give money to the Republicans that enact these draconian laws
Yeah.
and support the state sanctioned brutality against black and brown people in this country, they're going to listen to or pay attention to people not spending money with them. Because
Yeah.
if you spend money with those companies, they're going to take your money to support these people that don't like us.
Yeah. And 100% on that actually, and it's crazy how someone, a cop, can kill someone, right? You know, and oh, administrative leave with pay,
Mm.
you know, and then all they do is fire them.
And
But
keep their pension.
if I did the same thing, or even someone that's white did the same thing, right? That sat here and killed someone or did anything like that, 20 years. We're facing 20 years. We're facing 30 years for murder.
Life.
Life without possibility, without parole. Someone in uniform, be like, oh, I fear for my life. That's what happened. That's why. That's why I had to defend myself, even though body cam footage says like, hey, that never happened. He never was aggressive. But that line that saves every cop. Oh, that pretty much saves every single cop. It's like, oh, I fear for my life.
Hello, Mustafa. We have a viewer here. One of my friends. He's in the UK. Hi, Mustafa.
So it's like so they get off the hook so easy,
Mm.
and it's like, oh, we'll investigate, but oh, we'll fire him. But it's like, where's the point where he gets arrested and charged and facing 10, 20, 30 years, you know? Is it me or did she freeze? Cool. Cool.
Uh, okay, I'm back. I was buffering again. I'm back.
Okay, so like before I got cut off, it's like when are these police stations, right, gonna hold these officers accountable when they mistreat someone that's in their care, you know?
And I was early this morning. I was tweeting with someone because like I wanted to the first thing because I knew about the video being released. Um, I was responding to this lady's tweet. She said the Akron, Ohio police are going to release the body cam video of Jalen Walker shooting. Raise your hand if you are sick and tired of police shooting unarmed black men.
Yeah,
Well, I responded, I'm also sick of the media replaying video of the black community's trauma over and over again as
for
some
profit.
form of morbid entertainment. They never replay traumatic video of white people getting shot down like this. This is a tactic that the media uses to further desensitize and normalize the dehumanization and brutality against black Americans. Because if people who saw these traumatic videos cared, it would have stopped by now. The replaying of our trauma does not help.
Mm-mm. I mean, I always get like, and when it comes to someone that's white and like does something wrong or shooting someone, it's like, oh well, he was going through something, you know, oh COVID,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, oh, but when it comes to us, it's always like, oh, he, you know, was doing drugs or doing this and this and that. And he went to prison. He had a felon. You know, his felony. He had a warrant for his arrest. I'm like, what does that matter at that point?
Hmm.
If someone's dead, right? What does all that matter? Like all that disappears once he's not breathing no more.
Hmm.
And because um I realized this when it came to Brandon Tatum. You know what I mean? You know, when it came to Elijah McClain, I watched the body cam video, you know, and I'm like, okay, and he's talking about like, oh yeah, you know, he should have listened, this that, and the third, yada yada yada, you know. Oh, I remember when I was, you know, an officer and superhuman strength. I'm like, what does any of that matter? I mean, yes, if you run from the police, if you resist arrest, yes, that's another charge. You know, that's another charge, but it doesn't warrant for someone losing their life. You know, like if four people are um on one person and they're having such an issue to contain this one person, you guys shouldn't be officers
And not only
whatsoever.
that, how many videos have we seen of white people confronting officers and they still be taken alive? Like I've seen videos of white suspects attacking officers, like running toward them with the guns or knives or machetes or some kind of weapon,
Yeah.
and they be taken alive and there's no excessive force, like the
No.
cops are running around behind them,
No.
no excessive force,
No. Mm-mm.
and like they're coddling these people like, you know, what was his name that shot up the church and they
Oh
take
yeah,
him
I
to
remember
Burger
him.
King?
Remember him. Mm-hmm. Hey, and on top of that, they put a vest on him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is there a vest on him? Why is there a vest? Why is there a vest? Because his everything's exposed, but why are you guys walking him out with the vest on for? You know? And it's like, well, it's like what happened in Buffalo. You know, they took him in too. You know, so it's like you guys are so afraid of a person of color running away that you have to shoot him, right? You have to gun him down. But when someone's actually committing these acts, right, it's like, oh, you want food, you want water. How's your day today? You know,
Are you
it's
having a
like
bad day? Are you
it's.
having one of those bad days?
I know, it's like, you
You
having
know,
those days, fam? It's like
it's,
those
it's
days.
like it's like a it's like a morbid Mentos commercial. Are you having
Yeah.
one of those bad
Oh
days?
man.
Mentos.
It is, and it was also when like when COVID. I think, yeah, I think when COVID. No, it's when the riots started happening with George Floyd. There was a video of a dude that was drunk behind the wheel. It was a black guy. He was drunk. Someone called. You know, someone called, like, whatever, like that. You know what I mean? And he's just tossing these officers like it's nothing. And on top of that, he got the taser, and dude's running away and shoots him. I'm like, bro, this man tossed both you guys. I would have fired both of you, and he got your taser too. Come on, man. You went through all that training, right? You went through all this training, shit like that. This man's tossing you around like you're rag dolls, and got your taser. Come on, man. Like, to be honest, being an officer should be taken seriously at your job. Because the reason why, because it's like going to overseas in different countries. Because when it comes to policing, you don't know if you're gonna come home. You know what I mean? You don't know that. You don't know that the last kiss you gave your wife, your kids, you know, that might be your last, because you just don't know what's gonna happen. So it kind of blows my mind how these officers are nonchalantly work their jobs, you know, going around doing all of these things. I'm like, no, you guys, your job should be you should be taking your job seriously, because obviously you're protecting your own life, and also you're if you're in a situation, you have to protect someone else's life. You know.
Well, speaking of training, let me see here. See if I can let. Uh, mm, is this it? Yeah, I think this is it. I'm gonna flip this around. So let me see. Okay. So speaking of training here,
their eyes. So
let me see.
Nature Valley has donated 8
Um, and this is in Florida. This is a few days ago. They posted
Wait,
about
that was in Florida?
that was in Florida, but they've been doing this for years. Like I remember seeing this like years ago. This is how police officers train in their departments. Let me see. I don't know if it's going to play or not. But they
Yeah,
they use they use pictures of black people to for target practice. I was trying to find the photos, but yeah, they use photos of black people for target practice. I don't know if it's not going to play. I'll see. I'll go back to that. But yeah, that's how they train. They use black photos of for target practice.
mm-mm. Yeah, because I remember, um that was this one of that was discovered by, because there was a tour of like of Boy Scouts going to a police station, and
Yep.
they found that out.
But no, this is how they train. This is like they've been doing this for years. This is how they train. They use images of black people for target practice. And I remember seeing a story about the NRA, like the NRA conventions,
Yeah.
and they sell target practice photos at the NRA conventions of black people, specifically of black people. And so here, police department used images of black men holding guns as target practice. And this is the story about the Boy Scouts that discovered the targets. Well, they're doing this for years. This is their standard practice in all police departments in this country. They sell these target practice, NRA sell these target practice pictures of black people, and that's their standard practice.
That's crazy.
So they specifically train these Nazi white officers to brutalize our community. That's what I'm saying. This is like racial terror. This is racial terror.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they train in this country against black people.
That's crazy. Mm-mm. That's
That's why, like, I mean, the UN and Amnesty International wrote their reports about black people being in danger in this country. Before this Roe verdict came down and before anything else, like
mm-hmm.
during the George Floyd protests, they
Yeah.
wrote a report. I mean, it's like 200 and something pages
Yeah.
at how much danger black people are in this country.
I mean, it was like when the guy in New York, when think he was selling cigarettes, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I watched that when I was young, and I was like, dude took him down, choked him out, and died. And I'm like, bro, and no one stopped him. I'm like, it's not how you guys conduct some things. Like, if he was such a threat, dude was just standing still, wasn't harming you, didn't pose no threat. Yes, he was doing bigger than you. I get it. You're like a small compared to him, but it didn't warrant no, excessive
Excessive
force to
force, right?
where he passed away.
But
You
like I
know?
said, that's the conditioning that the media helps to perpetuate and helps to normalize by playing those videos over and over and over again to desensitize people in a way that when they see us or people that look like us, they
Yeah,
see us that as undeserving of
yeah.
basic, human rights.
Yeah, because I've had a different experience of growing up. Because obviously I'm biracial. I'm mixed. I'm half black and half white.
Hmm.
So like when I was growing up, like I didn't know how to identify as. Like I know,
Hmm.
remember my dad telling me like, "Hey, you have two strikes against you." He goes, "You're a man and you're black."
Hmm.
When I was growing up, I wanted people to see me as being as mixed, not just just black. Because obviously, I'm like, "Oh, I'm white." Like, "Oh, are you sure you're white?" You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so uh, growing up, everyone was like, "Oh, like where are you?" Because everyone thinks I'm Spanish.
Hmm.
Like, even Spanish people try to be like, "Hey," I'm like, "No, sorry, I don't speak Spanish. My bad." So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, where are you?" It's like I'm mixed. I'm like half black, half white. Well, I never really experienced racism like that. I never did. Never got terrorized or beat up because of color, like of my skin ever. I pretty much like grew up like normal, didn't have to worry about anything. So, but the 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 more I got older, like I started like questioning like what do I identify as. And I told my dad, I'm like, I don't want to be black. I straight told him in his face, like I don't want to be black, because I was like, you know, um, because I was like, like, oh, they sag their pants or criminals, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, is and then like the more I got older, I was just, just complacent and just didn't really care. honestly, you know. And then think when I hit around like 22, 23, I think like even 24. So that's when I started really paying attention. And then when I saw George Floyd pass away, I think that's what really clicked in my head. I'm just like, wow, this man just died like in handcuffs. Like, wow, you
And that's
know.
what I how with my kids being biracial,
Hmm.
I, as a black woman, taught them that no matter what, because of historically,
Yeah,
I taught them no matter what would, and their father uh, helped raise them this way too. Him being white,
yeah,
he was like, no matter what, no matter where you go, when you're hanging out with your white friends, and he was sharing from his perspective as a white man because
yeah,
he knew how white men acted, when they were grouped together.
yeah,
No matter we both stressed to them, no matter what, and no matter what your white friends say, like they're your best friend or whatever, if anything goes down, they are going to throw you under the bus. I, as a black mom, taught them that, and their white father taught them that.
hmm,
Also, I said we taught them of the pros of both of their heritage. It's
yeah,
like this is how the white side of you is still going to look at you, because historically they came up with the one drop rule and all that stuff. They came up with the construct of racism.
yeah,
So Europeans came up with that construct, and they are going to look at you as black no matter what your skin tone,
yeah. No
no
matter what.
matter who your father is, no matter who your mother is, whether
Yeah,
you're biracial that has a white mom and a black dad, or a black mom and a white dad,
still black in their
they're
eyes.
still going to look at you
Hmm.
as black.
Yeah, and even there's even mixed kids like races against black people or like black men, because it's like I watched a YouTube video like um like a mixed woman came onto the live, and then she was like, oh, I don't like dark men, I don't like blackies, this, that, and the third, I don't want to associate myself with you guys. And I'm like, do you understand? No matter what you do, right? If someone's racist, they don't care that you're mixed. All they care about is you're black. You are mixed with black, and that's what they're gonna look at you as a black woman.
And
You know?
as for racism itself, black people, brown people, Asian people, Latino people, we, under the definition of racism, none of us can be considered racist. Now, prejudice, yes, but
Yeah,
racist, no, because racism comes with an element of power. With
yeah,
racism comes an element of power, because you can enact your racism with power, like making laws
yeah,
against black and brown people, making laws like what DeSantis did in Florida. He's enacted laws where black and brown people can't make white people feel bad. Like if we hurt their feelings, he has enacted a law against us for making white people feel bad.
Isn't that the wasn't that the see critical race theory, right? Is that what that was?
And
CRT?
as for critical race theory is a course taken in law schools in college. What happened with the critical race theory? There was a Republican congressman.
Yeah,
He's the one that said, "Okay, we're going to take this word critical race theory and run it through our talking points to make it toxic. We're going to turn critical race theory toxic." So no matter what black and brown people say about critical race theory, anytime a white person hears critical race theory, they're going to look at it as a threat First off, critical race theory is not taught in regular
Mm-mm.
school. It's
No.
only taught in college courses
Yeah.
and law school. Now, that them taking critical race theory and turning it toxic has also affected just the general um, teaching and history of Black history, like just the little bit of Black history that is taught in regular schools.
And
Now
there's not even that.
that's toxic. They
There's
don't want regular Black history taught in schools. They
no.
where was it in Texas, where now they're trying to label slavery as involuntary relocation.
That's still
Okay, I'm
kidnapping.
sorry.
It's
Involuntary relocation is still kidnapping.
no matter what you
Involuntary,
say or
if
phrase
you take
it.
somebody against their will and involuntarily move them to another location, that
Oh,
is kidnapping.
make it make sense. Like you guys are so complacent. No matter what you change the word to, it's still one going to be bad because
Right.
you basically took a whole bunch of people, right? Kidnapped them, right? Took them and moved them over here. No matter what, it's
That's
still going to be
kidnapping.
bad.
It's kidnapping.
Exactly, it's still going to be bad regardless.
It's like, so they're trying to change the term slavery, which slavery is just slavery. They're trying to soften the blow. Also, with them trying to do that, change the terms to benefit them and their feelings. That is a way of them not coming to terms with reparations. That's a way of them not addressing reparations for the
Mm,
Black community by trying
yeah,
to change the word slavery into involuntary relocation, which still doesn't matter because that's a
no,
kidnapping. That's
it's yeah,
kidnapping.
yeah. Even when I was going to school, like I wasn't really taught anything. Like I like the the way I learned about Black Wall Street, which
Mhm.
I thought was a joke. Honestly, when my dad told me there was a Black Wall Street, I thought he was joking with me because I'm like, there's no such thing. There's no way as a Black Wall Street because of history. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then he told me what happened. I was like, oh, it's actually real, So when I was going to school, you're not taught actual Black history. It's always Martin Luther King, what he did, slavery, what happened to slavery,
Mhm.
and the revolution or whatever like that, how that happened.
The
You're not
Boston Tea
really
Party, all
taught.
that.
Exactly. You're not really taught anything. And the only way I learned about Emmett Till and what happened to him was someone because I was like not I wasn't like in special needs class, but I was like in an SLD class. Um so I went to one of those classes in high school, it's like a small class. And then she brought a tape up of Emmett Till, and pretty much showed us that, and I'm like, wow, like that's crazy, and then with all these white people being all scared, I was like, they just like straight up went to his house, took him, well, his grandfather, right, just sat there and watched, couldn't do nothing about it, just sat there, and all these white people are like, oh, we're not safe, this, that, and third. I'm like, no one's come to taking out your house, and it's like and also there's always that Black talk, like through generation and gender and through generations, because like that's all we knew about white people. That's all we knew. I mean, yes, people change, but when it comes down to like them defending you, they'll give you up faster to save their own ass rather than stick by you. You know?
Exactly. And that, like, there are warnings with this Roe v. Wade ruling for Black women that feel the need, that uh, white women are trying to talk them into helping them, like a underground railroad type thing. Don't
No,
do it
no,
because
mm-mm.
yes, they want the help, but if anything comes down, just like when
They'll
we
they'll
told
sell they'll
our
sell, they'll sell
biracial
you out
kids,
so fast.
be
They'll sell
be
you out.
aware
Yeah.
that if something goes down, you're
Hmm.
gonna be the one to get in trouble.
Yeah. Because hey, you're facing 10 years, right?
Right,
10
right.
years. Oh. But But if you tell us, right, where that person is,
Mm-hmm.
right, we will let you off the hook.
Right, right.
Okay, here's so and so.
And no matter what, they're still going to be subjugated
Yeah, no matter what.
because the whole point of this ruling is for them to breed.
Yeah, because they were because I've listened to like the white woman that was talking about like the birth girth
Mm-hmm.
and how like they would become the minority,
Mm-hmm.
right, betime a certain year. And there was a white girl that was
That's
like
Jane Elliott.
scared.
That's Jane Elliott.
Yeah, and there was a white girl because I like all because obviously I'm at work, so I listen to YouTube or anything like that. So I listened to a podcast and the white chick was like was like, oh, I'm scared that we're gonna be the minorities. Like what's probably being the minority,
Right?
and then she was like, oh well, because what if like what we did to them that they're gonna do to us.
So that lets you know they are well aware of how
Yeah.
they treat
Mm-hmm.
minorities. They're
Yeah.
well aware of it. They are
Yeah.
well aware.
Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is with Roe v. Wade, like no one was talking about how if it got overturned, how it would affect other bills. Like everyone could talk about the abortion bill. But I did not see one person talk about saying like, look, this is bigger than
Mhm.
you know women's rights and abortion, right? Because
Privacy.
exactly like this is way bigger than that like because if that got overturned, like they can go after anything. Like this is
Everything.
like Roe v. Wade being overturned, this was a stepping stone.
Hmm.
Like let's see if we can get this overturned.
Right?
Let's see what else we can go after, because to be honest, you know black folks have a bill saying that we have rights, right?
Mhm.
It wasn't given to us. Like we had to have a bill passed so we can have rights. You know what I mean? Like gay marriage, that was a bill that got passed, and uh there was already Clarence Thompson talking about that and contraceptives. And then there was another person that was basically saying, "Hey, let's go back to segregation." And I'm just like, man, this man.
And like you were saying, all of the other amendments, because it's amendments that they want to overturn. I was telling people in 2016, I
Yeah,
said these Republicans are wanting to bring back chattel slavery, like
yeah,
literal having brown people in shackles and chains,
yeah,
slavery. That's what they wanted to do. That's where we're headed. I was telling people in 2016 this.
yeah.
But again, I was told I was overreacting. Oh, you're overreacting. Calm down. It's never gonna. They're never gonna bring that back. They're
Oh,
never
but
gonna do that. Like,
2022. Now we're here, and guess what? Now
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Now what?
So it's like not even a matter of like myself, but a black woman saying this. Nobody ever wants to listen to the black woman.
Yeah, that's how it always
Nobody ever wants
goes.
to listen to us.
No, but when it comes to someone that's white, right? Oh, we're all ears. We're all ears. And that's not like I'm not trying to bash like
Right.
some like obviously some white people are
Exactly,
not
because
like
your
that.
mom's white, right? We're
Yeah,
that's not the issue. Yeah,
yeah.
it's the way that this
It's set up.
society has conditioned everyone to put them on a pedestal
Exactly. Yeah,
and think that everything white is right. No, obviously we know that that's not the case
exactly.
because look at the mess that we're in globally. When you want to think about it, globally, the whole globe is in a mess. And what is the common denominator? White men.
Yeah, yeah.
The whole planet is in a S load of mess, and the common denominator
Mm-hmm.
is white men.
It yeah, pretty much. Like yeah, yeah. I mean, it's it's true. Unfortunately, it's true.
And then
Unfortunately,
I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole about that, but yeah, it's just like it's just the. I'm laughing because I'm so pissed. I'm so pissed that nobody listened. Nobody listened.
yeah,
Nobody
but
wanted to listen because they were so comfortable in their position and their lot of the hierarchy,
yeah,
and
exactly.
they thought that it would never come knocking on their doorstep.
And now it came knocking. Now it's like, oh, can you help us? You're on your own. You guys are on your own, fam. Like, yo, we tried to tell you this. Like, no.
And even still, it's not even. We're not. We're completely sitting back. We are channeling our energy in the ways we were protesting before. We're still doing the work. We're still doing the work. We're just not doing it on their terms now that they're forgetting.
Yeah, and
We're not
and
doing it on their terms. We're still doing the work. It's not like we're not doing anything and we're
oh no
just
no 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 no
back. Yeah, yeah.
and
But
and
we're not
and
doing it on their terms.
and on top of that, it's like you saw people protest, right? You saw Colin Kaepernick take a knee. What'd you
Right,
guys do?
right.
What'd you guys do? Oh, disrespecting the flag.
Hmm.
You guys are thugs.
Hmm.
Now, since Roe v. Wade got overturned, now it's like, oh, we're gonna take a knee. Oh, you guys haven't seen nothing yet, right? And
Co-opting,
TikTok and
co-opting every other
yeah,
movement.
exactly. And TikTok videos and shit like that. I'm like, you guys are so like
Trifling.
bland.
Y'all are so trifling.
You guys are so bland. Like you're just no flavor. Like what are you guys doing? Like
Okay, I want to ask you a question.
what's
So,
that?
your mom is your mom still alive?
Yes.
So, post Roe v. Wade, what have you talked to her and gotten her how she feels about it or what she's seeing? What is her?
The one thing about my mom is that she also can't handle it. Like she
Mhm.
when it comes to like politics and stuff like that, um she truly can't handle that, and I completely get it. I mean, there are some people that truly just can't, because it's just like, I just want to
Right,
live my
right.
life, you know what I
So they
mean?
have the luxury of being able to do that, but has she even just remarked on it or anything?
Mm-mm.
And
No,
see
is
that
it we
that's
haven't because obviously there's also some other family issues that between me, my mom, and my family, you know what I mean?
right.
So no, I haven't really. I mean, obviously eventually I'll talk to her about it, but like no, she really hasn't brought it up, because it's usually me. When I want to talk about something, usually me that brings it up, stuff like that, and I get her take on that. But recently, no, I mean, not really. So
Yeah, that's like another pet peeve of mine too, because even even as bad as everything is, like some people still are comfortable in their privilege to be able to stick their heads in the sand.
until until shit gets real,
But
then
even when it
that's
affects them, they still are
exactly,
in denial.
yeah,
They're still in
because
denial.
we don't they don't want to believe they don't want to believe like that the United States is on fire. The United States has been on fire for years and years
Yeah,
and years and
yeah.
years, because you have these people that are in power, filling their pockets. They're selling us dreams that, oh hey, we'll do this, we'll do that. We had Obama in office. What happened? Nothing happened. The only reason why people voted for him, because he was black. That's the only reason why we truly, I think people voted for him, because he was black. Because to be honest, I never saw him do anything for the black community
Now, I
whatsoever.
honestly, when he first ran, I was saying to myself though, and I was wrong. I was like, oh well, this looks hopeful, but I don't think in my lifetime there's going to be a black president. And I was saying this
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
myself.
yeah,
I was like, yeah, all this looks hopeful and everything, but I honestly don't think in my lifetime, and I'm like 50 something, I'm Gen X.
yeah.
I was like, I don't see that we're going to have a black president in my lifetime. Well, we saw a black president twice. And
Yeah.
I was shocked. Now, the first time I was pleasantly shocked. And then, like you said, I still didn't give him a pass just because he was a black man.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I want everybody to be held accountable, especially
Yeah.
when they say that they're going to do something. But then the second time that he got in, I was terrified. Like I was watching, you know how when they get in the office and then they do the wave to everybody and do like the parade, the presidential parade, and everything like that. The second time I was terrified because I was expecting somebody to try to harm him,
Yeah.
like they did JFK.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking at the second time. I was really and I was like, he is out there in the open, like waving to people, and I understand the semblance of it all and the fact that he needs to be out there to show people that to show people that this was the will of the people that voted him in the second time. But I was honestly terrified looking around, thinking somebody was going to be in a tree on top of a building to harm him.
Me personally, I knew that was never going to happen because the reason why JFK got assassinated because he was going against everything that of the United States. You know what I mean? Because really, because if you truly look at it, every president that we have had has kids.
Mm,
They're not single, they're not young, they're older, and so so I knew that he wasn't going to get harmed or assassinated because truly if Obama went against politics, right, and
mm,
said no, f that, I'm doing this for the people,
mm,
I really think he would have been assassinated because truly, because with every politician, they sell us a dream.
mm,
They'll say, "Oh, we'll do this, we'll do that," right? But when they get into office,
mm. It all,
nothing.
yeah,
It
because
all
because
disappears.
they are beholden to the corporations that pay for their
Yeah,
campaigns to get them in
exactly.
there, and that doesn't
Hmm.
matter who it is. It doesn't matter who it
Hmm.
is. So um, it's the American dream for us is American
Survival,
Horror Story.
survival. Yeah, this
It's
is
American
just about
Horror
survival.
Story.
And on top of that, you have like 4 years, right? 4 years for a presidency, but
Mm,
anyone that's in Congress or Supreme Court, they can be there till the day they die. You know, and it's crazy how like they're worth millions.
mm.
Why are
Yep,
they worth millions for?
right. Term limits. I mean, we need term limits, and I mean, hopefully, we'll get a chance to correct it if you know. I'm not going to get on the bandwagon of people saying don't vote. I'm on the bandwagon of be
Vote.
careful of who you vote for.
Yeah.
Just be really strategic and be
Mm-hmm.
careful who you vote for because this is these are the cards we're dealt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we we have no choice at this point in time because these are the cards we are dealt. All I'll suggest is to be strategic, to be careful, to be studious about who you're going to vote for. Research them, research their policies, research the policies
Mm-hmm.
that they've signed on to. I mean, we have no choice but to do that right now. We can't
Yeah.
just not vote at this point because if voting did not matter, the Republicans would not be trying so hard to suppress
Mm-hmm.
people's
Mm-hmm.
vote.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. and we've always blindly voted for
Right.
years. We've always have. We've always there because I think the reason why we blindly voted because their dirty laundry wasn't aired out on the internet like
Mhm.
that. Like
Right.
they can do whatever they want, right? And get away with it,
Not
right?
be held accountable.
But now they can't
Yeah.
because like they do anything like this, internet, boom, someone has it, someone recorded it and posted it on the internet, you
Mhm.
know. So I think we've blindly voted because their information wasn't out there like that, so yeah.
And
Hmm.
that's another reason why that Congress, the FCC chairman, he's trying to claim that TikTok is a threat because how we can mobilize and the people get information out, the information that's getting out, it's not censored. Um, he finds that a threat because people are learning and waking up.
And it's funny, what color is he? White.
Of course, and he's a Republican, and he's a Trump installment, which this is another thing Biden should have when he got into office fired all those people that Trump installed. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't go into office with people that you saw in the last regime that
Yeah.
put the brakes on every accomplishment that we made. Why
Hmm.
keep those people? So also a Trump appointee, and truth be told, Facebook and Instagram are more dangerous than TikTok.
Oh yeah, I don't go on Instagram or Facebook like that. I don't. And speaking of Trump, right? What's crazy to me is how someone sat here and said this was a victory for white life.
And then imagine those black people that were in that crowd, because there was a few sprinkled in there. The minorities, the black and the Mexicans and the Asians that were in that crowd. I wish somebody had camera footage of the look on their faces.
Yeah, and like how Trump didn't say nothing about it. How
Of
the
course
crowd
not.
and how the
He
crowd
he
was,
applauded.
yeah,
He
woo.
applauded.
I was like,
Yeah, he
what?
applauded. And that's the whole point of this American First uh, cult chant that they're chanting. American First. That's the whole core point of that.
I was like, man, and just like and people on TikTok were trying to defend them. I'm like, how can you defend someone saying that and not correcting themselves, or Trump not correcting that woman? How
Of course,
can
he
you
wasn't
defend
going.
that?
He wasn't going to correct it because he's an imbecile. he
I was like, man, like
was not going to correct that. But
there
the
is no,
fact that the minorities that were in that crowd, like they haven't even spoken up about it after the fact.
yeah, no,
They
no,
didn't. I mean, how much money are you getting paid to think that's okay as a minority?
mm-mm.
It's still not enough. No amount of money is enough for you to be a part of a marginalized community to
Yeah,
think that um, your what is it? Your the word I'm looking for, your position next to white supremacy is enough.
exactly,
That
yeah,
you positioning yourself to white supremacy. I mean, no amount of money.
mm-mm. There really truly isn't no amount of money you can pay someone like that. And you have people like flying the Confederate flag like it's nothing and wearing it. Just
I honestly don't know how at this point, and this is just what I'm witnessing, and I'm thinking out loud. From what I'm witnessing, I don't know how we're going to be able to correct. Well, actually, I take that back. I do know how we can put a screeching halt to this madness. Is if uh, we in mass stop spending money. That's the only solution at this point. Other than that, if we do not combine forces to stop spending money, I don't know how, even with legal precedents, how we can, you know, change course on this, because look at what the Republicans are doing. They're installing their people in like the voting commissions all over the country.
Yeah.
So say a Democrat wins, in which we've already seen Democrats win in some places that they've done this, and they've refused to certify those elections.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, we're in a whole lot of mess here. Thanks to the 55% of white women, which I'm always going to say unapologetically, they're the reason we're in this mess. That's why I kind of wanted to hear if your mom had anything to say, or her friends or something like that, because they're the reason we're in this mess. They're the reason that 10-year-old girl is being forced
Yeah,
to have
that.
a child. 55% of the white women in this country are the reason we are in this madness. And they voted twice. Like 55% of them voted for the last regime the first time, 55%. Then it skyrocketed to like 58% the
Hmm.
second time. So yes, they're the reason we're in this mess. Besides the white man, which, I mean, that's just a given that the white men in power are gonna act a fool. But the white women that voted to support this,
Yeah, that's.
they're the reason we're in this mess.
Man, like I told my girl about that. I said, babe, she's like, what? I said, 10-year-old got pregnant, child abuse. You know, and I was just like, and it's funny how all these people that my Second Amendment right
Mhm.
are staying
Right,
silent, right? Because there's literally rights being violated, right? But you guys wanted to go on January 6th, and invade a Capitol to overturn a election, which was never going to happen,
right.
But now you have human rights literally being violated, right? And you guys were so gun ho about your rights, January 6th, and it's my Second Amendment right. You can't take you can't take my gun, and now you're just silent. Yeah,
You know
silent.
why they're silent? Well,
Hmm.
I, I this is just my observation. They're silent because you know how they like to scream everyone has Second Amendment rights, which we know technically is not true, because
Yeah.
even if black and brown people exercise their Second Amendment rights, they are going to be shot down. They are going to be killed for trying to exercise their Second Amendment rights. Second Amendment rights do not work the same for black and brown
Yeah.
people as it does for envelopians.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's just
Because
a fact. So that's why they're silent, because they don't want to encourage the black and brown people to exercise their Second Amendment rights.
yeah, and the only reason why we have background checks, right, and who can have a gun or not, is because of the Black Panthers,
Right.
because they got scared.
I mean, and we have that on books, but they never enforce it.
No.
They don't
No.
enforce it
Mm.
because their target audience are envelopians.
Mm.
So them having those laws on the books is just a talking point
Yeah.
that they can use. This is how bad today is. It's like, I don't know if it's raining where you are. It's
Oh, it's
storm.
raining.
Is it? It's
It
raining.
was sunny outside.
Yeah. The sky is crying. Our ancestors are up there crying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so, and this is just, I'm just speechless. I'm not shocked. I'm just speechless because every day we're
Some
trying
new.
to process during the day
Mm-hmm.
what happened the day before, and we're
Mm-hmm.
not we're not getting we're not getting a mental emotional break from this.
Mm-mm. No.
And I one thing I also hate is the term that people use to refer to black women as "you're strong black woman." I don't like that term. I don't want to be referred to as a strong black woman because that term is basically used to say no matter what brutality or inhumane um, brutality that black women face, you're a strong black woman. You can deal with it. You can handle it. No, I can't. I am a feminine black woman. I am a very normal, I'm not as normal as I can be. I am a
Yeah.
very, I'm not going to say very emotional. I'm just like a normal woman that
Yeah.
has emotions just like the white women that they put on pedestals that they want to coddle. I have those
Yeah.
same feelings that they do, but there's nobody that coddles me and my feelings.
Yeah. True.
Nobody, because we don't even get it from those black men, from a lot of black men.
Mm-mm.
So we have nobody that comforts us.
Now, and I wonder. See, and that I just thought of that right now, and I wonder why that's why you guys are the way you guys are because you never had no one to speak up for you or to defend you. So, because you have a lot of these black men that are like, all black women are too masculine. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like, oh, y'all too masculine, y'all not feminine. And because they'll choose a white woman because she's
Hmm.
docile, she's submissive, this,
Or
that, and
they
the
think
third.
that.
Exactly. Um, but they also had to remember is that for years you guys never had no one that was there for you. You guys never had someone that would stick up for you. It's always been you. So
Hmm.
that's why you guys are so strong and have a strong head on your shoulders because you were forced to. Wasn't like, oh hey, either you be submissive or
Hmm.
just be strong. No, it was always strong because of you guys were last when it came to rights. You guys were last when it became to women's rights, and you guys were last into relationships.
Hmm.
You know,
And
and
even now, plot twist, all of those black men, especially the colorist black men, which
mhm,
I have to stress that the colorist black men that do that disrespect black women, and they allow their lice pirate women to disrespect us.
yeah,
Plot twist, look what happened to Abume, uh, the African guy with the feminine white woman that stabbed him to death. The blonde lady that stabbed her African boyfriend, and her
in the,
and he
in the hotel,
actually,
right?
it was, yeah, in I guess their condo or hotel or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
So he was one of those
yeah,
too, and he was actually darker skinned than me, but he was one of
yeah.
those that would get online bashing black women, saying how much he hated black women, um, and this and that. They're not feminine and this and that. Well, his feminine, you know, preference,
Gets killed.
plot twist.
Gets killed.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
so of course, when that happened to him, then his family reached out to the black women and the black women asking for support to get justice for him getting killed by his preference. Um, I think y'all got it messed up because I know y'all got it mixed up. I don't think y'all got it messed up. I know y'all got
Oh,
it
you
messed
do,
up
yeah.
because he learned that behavior from y'all's family. Because from what I've been finding out, Africans don't like Black Americans. I
Oh
didn't even
no!
know that
Oh
was a
no!
thing. I
No!
didn't even know that was a thing.
Yes, yes. Yes, I
So,
and my father told me that one day. He's like, Africans, when it comes to Africans or Ethiopians like that, they do not like Black Americans, right? And there was I watched a 4 hour YouTube video. It was a live turned to video that they were slinging around the N word,
hmm
right? They called us monkeys. They
hmm
called us. We need being changed and
hmm
caged, you know.
yeah, I
I
had
don't,
no
I don't
idea it was that deep. I was just like, really?
yeah,
Because,
and it's so funny because you come here, it's like, because they're like, oh, we have culture, it's that and third. I'm like, come to America, and I will bet you still be treated the same damn way as we have been treated for so long. No one, if you come to America or in Europe that's racist against Black people, they don't care about your culture. They
hmm
don't. They'll give a damn, right?
yep.
They don't care if you speak proper
If
or
anything,
you.
they're trying to figure out a way to steal your culture so they can
Exactly.
market it and
Yeah.
capitalize on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. One
And
hundred
the
percent.
only reason they're allowed over here is because of black people that did the civil rights movement to fight for rights of minority groups. So the reason they're over here allowed to flourish and go to these colleges and open up businesses and everything like that is because of black Americans.
Mhm. Yeah.
So how is it a thing that you don't like black Americans? And as for culture, for our culture, because we were stripped of the African culture when we were involuntarily relocated,
Yeah.
we had to build and design our own culture from scratch, which happened to be like the afros, the hip
Mhm.
hop music, our fashion,
Yeah.
things like that. We had to build that from scratch, from not knowing, from having our history stripped from us,
Yeah.
for not knowing
Mhm.
anything about our African heritage.
Yeah.
And so we built all that. And you're saying that we don't have culture. But everybody steals from that culture that we built, and they're
Mhm.
allowed to profit from it. The Koreans, all the K-pop, the K-hip hop is built off of, and it's a multi-billion dollar industry that was built off of our black hip hop culture.
Yeah. It was from
The
us.
Africans coming over here, being allowed to come over here, open businesses and flourish and go to schools so they can
Mhm.
look down on us. That was built, that avenue was open because of black Americans.
Yeah. Mhm.
So everybody, the Kardashians, buying,
Oh.
paying plastic surgeons to give them the black female aesthetic so they can profit off of our aesthetic, but yet we're still looked down on. Okay,
I
I mean,
can't.
everybody benefits from black women and black culture, but black people.
Yeah. I can't. I cannot stand. I cannot stand the Kardashians.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I never co-signed any of that
no,
nonsense either.
no,
But
and
the
it's.
point, the
Oh.
point I'm trying to make is like everybody makes
Yeah.
money and benefits and off of our culture and our aesthetics and us, and
Well,
we're
yeah.
still looked down on.
Because back in the '90s, black hip hop, right, or rap
hmm
was, oh, that's bad, that's gangster rap, da da da. Now fast forward to a couple of years, Lil Wayne and all that stuff.
hmm
Now everyone's listening to it. You know what I mean?
And
Come fast.
corporations,
Yeah, cause
Kroger commercial, they're playing "Get Low, Get Low, Get Low" for their to
yeah,
sell their overpriced products that are fake. It's not even
uh,
real meat and real produce, but they're selling their products and their store stuff in their store using black culture.
yeah. And then fast forward to Roe v. Wade. You guys have, yeah, you have white women that are on YouTube, on TikTok, talking about, with Tupac saying "Keep your head up" because the Roe
Right.
v. Wade got overturned. I'm like, what you just sit down,
And
just
what
sit
they're
down.
doing is a form of violence. Because when somebody tells you no, you know, what they're doing by antagonizing and continuing to do that is a form of violence.
Yeah.
When all of those white women, when all the white women on the internet do the box braids and then when black women take the time to educate people, which we are not obligated to do, but we try to do that still, educate
Mm-hmm.
people on our culture, um, and then you continue to do it. Like, I don't care what you say, I'm going to continue to do it. That is a form of violence.
Yeah.
That's a form of racial violence,
Mm,
plain and simple.
yeah. Yeah.
It's too much. Like when the white women are saying right now it's too much. This is beyond too much for black women. Just imagine. It is
Well,
way
yeah.
beyond too much for a black woman.
Yeah, because even now they have the opportunity to include black women, right? To include y'all, they still mess it. I'm like, how was that even possible?
To include us in the plans and a movement that we've already been doing.
Oh, hey, help us, help us, help us! Like you're
We've
like
already been doing it.
we like they've been doing that, fam. Like, what do you mean, help us? They just waiting on you.
And the Native Americans, yeah, we've already
Exactly.
been doing the work, and they still can't include us in the work that
Oh,
we've already been doing.
it's like you guys.
But the thing is society has conditioned them that they have to be the center of attention. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Society has conditioned them to think you have to center white women and white people in general in everything. No, we don't.
No.
And
Uh
that's why they're throwing hissy fits all over the place, is because we started to stop centering them in everything. And they're throwing hissy fits all over the place. All these Karen and Chad videos all over the place. They're throwing hissy fits because black, brown people, BIPOC community has stopped centering them, and
Yeah.
they don't know how to act.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's like that song was specifically for black women because on top of that it was for black women and he also made it because of that. I think she was 12 or 15 years old of that teenager um, that got shot because the store owner thought she was stealing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
hmm and they're just like, oh, it's all about women. It's all about women. Like, no, it's not. It's not all about women because Tupac was all about his community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all were scared there will be a uprising of the black community, because of the music,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now since you guys are affected now you want to take just this one line out of a whole entire song to fit your narrative.
It's just like how they appropriate Martin Luther King and misappropriate Martin Luther King quotes every year.
Yeah.
They never they misquote him every year, and they never quote him with context,
hmm
because the quotes that they use, it's like that's not what he meant. It's like finish the quote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me see here. I'm checking on. Let's see. I'm gonna check on updates. Let's see here. So here's another distraction in the midst of our grief. The Essence Festival in New Orleans. Who cares about all that? These festivals and these award shows. I don't.
what
I don't
what
care.
what
It's the
festival
the Essence Festival
was
is in
that?
New Orleans, and Essence. A lot of these well-known black publications and stuff that was started as black owned are not owned by blacks anymore.
No.
and they're throwing these things out and using them as a distraction to try to. I'm
One
not
second.
distracted. I'm not. I refuse to be distracted. I'm not. I'm not distracted. Let's see here. They shot him 90 times. 60 bullets hit him, but they shot him 90 times. Let's see. There we go. Ah, jeez. Here's what we were talking about here. Let's see. This is. Let's see here. I was checking for updates. So here we go. Here's an example. There you are. So here is an example. Of, here's the statistics here. That unnecessary force, like excessive force. This is how they justify our dehumanization. I feel so helpless. I'm just like, what in the world? I mean, I just feel helpless. I'm like, so now, I mean, I'm at the point where I am on a regular basis, I'm tagging the United Nations, I'm tagging Amnesty International because they're outside countries are going to have to help people that want to leave. I mean, some people don't want to leave here,
Yeah.
but we're going to have outside intervention at this point. I mean, we've been past that, but I feel like we're going to have outside intervention, and for people that do want to leave, we're going to have some countries step in and help people leave, like voluntarily relocate, not involuntarily relocate, voluntarily relocate. I mean, that's like the man. It's just, I can't say what I want to say because probably have my account permanently banned.
Yeah.
I can't say what I want to say. Uh, oh gosh, I was trying to see if they did because usually when they release footage like this, it's followed by like a press conference or something like that. So that's what I was checking on, see if there's like a press conference or something. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what LeBron James said. Some people are. What did he say? We got some people upset. Oh, he just posted a tweet that said, "I pray for my city today." That's all he posted.
Mm.
So there's a lot of envelopians t- tweeting in response to what he said.
Wait, envelopians?
That's what I call them, envelopians, because they're the same color. I'm trying to be nice about it.
Oh man, that's
Envelopes. I
so
mean,
funny.
everybody knows what color an envelope is. The general envelope is.
Oh, that's hilarious. No, because I was like, envelope, like who the hell's envelope? Like, who the hell's that?
You know how we had to come up with code words now because they're getting their feelings. There's laws now. We can't hurt their feelings.
Oh,
So,
so I had a comment, right? I made a comment on a video where like a white chick was uh did a whole chia seeds on her toilet, right? And I was watching someone else that duetted it, and then I'm like, say it with me, that's white people shit, right? Well, I'm in that comment like morning, right? And then when I got home, it got deleted by TikTok. And I'm like, how is that against community guidelines? I'm
oh, did
like,
they give you a community?
yes. I'm like,
That's
that's
what I'm saying. You got to watch what you say now because
not.
what happened was somebody got in their feelings and they reported the comment.
I'm like, how? I was like, I got called a African one time, and I didn't get offended. I thought that shit was funny. To be honest, like, yeah, I was African. I thought that was funny, right? So I'm like,
That is kind of funny.
I was like, you have how you guys get offended when y'all see here tonguing dogs, right? Where freaking you're letting horses licking all over you for some damn reason. I don't know why, right? Yes, that is white people shit. What are you doing? I'll be more embarrassed of people making videos of because there was a video of a dude French kissing his dog. I was like, bruh.
Envelopians. Because a lot of times that goes over people's heads because a lot of people's heads because especially them it goes over their heads because they see the word envelopian and they're focusing on envelope and not considering envelopes are white. I say envelopians because like I said they report our comments when we say certain words to describe them.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen all kind of words like mayo monsters. I've seen yeast yetis. I've even used that before. Yeast yetis. I use envelopias. I've seen what was it? There was another one. Oh, lice pirates. It's like we have to get creative now because now they're trying to enact laws where we can't hurt their feelings.
Give
So
what's like going on.
okay. Let's see here.
Bubby.
What is the time difference? Are we on the same time? It's like 3:58 here. Are
Oh,
we in the
it's
same?
an hour behind me.
Huh?
No, you're an hour behind me. I'm
Okay.
4:58.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
Try to put something on for my son, but he keeps walking out. So never mind.
Aw.
He opened the door.
Tell him I said hello.
Yeah, but yeah.
So what are y'all doing tomorrow? You have to work tomorrow?
Well, baby. No, you're fine. Um, no, we're gonna go over to her parents' house tomorrow. Yeah, the house stuff like that. So, because really all I do is pretty much work and come home and be on the weekends and just relax on Sundays because I work 6 days, work half days on Saturdays, and my only full day off is Sundays. So
That sounds like my son's schedule, but he's at work today. He said he only has one account today, so he's working today. I think
yeah,
he
six,
think he has to work tomorrow.
60 hours a week.
Hmm. So I'll be here. I'll probably go. I'm gonna go to the Asian market and get me some. I'm gonna get some pork maybe. I want some octopus. I'm gonna get some octopus.
God, that does sound good actually. Some calamari.
Or I make this stir fry octopus that's really good with rice.
What's that?
Or I might tap into my one of my Filipino recipes and make some adobo. That's always good.
All right, I'm back.
Okay, I see it's time to go. We've been on about an hour and a half, hour and 30 seconds and counting.
Yeah,
So we could call it a day for now, and then you go tend to the family,
yeah, that's
and what this will be our call for. This is going to be our call to action
yeah,
for this show. Our call to action is to um, the like with the boycott. They were saying like July 3rd through 5th or 6th or whatever. Our call to action is to prolong. You know, because the only way we're going to make it. Let me see. Let me play this real quick. The only way we're going to make this work is not just for a few days. So I'm going to play this video of a guy I duetted yesterday, and he. Let me see here. He puts it like I've been telling people. It's going to have to be a long. It's going to have to be prolonged. It can't be just like for a few days because they could wait us out for a few days.
yeah.
So this let me see. I'm trying to play this video here. So this is going to be our call to action to close out this video here. Let me see. Okay, here it is right here. All right.
are we all collectively choosing to not go to work?
You should do it. Seriously, you should do it. As a cherry on top, the CDC, the United States, they already showed their hand. The guidance for COVID-19, being out sick with it, used to be stay away from work for 10 days. Then corporations complained about it. So then they said, stay away from work for 5 days. And the reason they complained was because of labor shortages. So they basically came out and just said, we can't handle it if enough people stop working for 10 days or more. So anybody who's really interested in a general strike right now, take it as guidance. 2 weeks tops. You get whatever you want.
And that's a fact. That is an absolute fact.
Yeah. I was wondering why it was shortened.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the people that were just putting a limit on it. They're new to boycotting. They're new to all this.
Yeah.
So we have to keep telling people. We'll just add on to their talking point of from this day to this day. That's not because like the Montgomery bus boycotts. My parents were a part of the boycotts there,
Yeah.
and it was like over a year. And it can't be just a few days. That they're not going to notice that. Like I said, they're able to financially be able to wait us out.
Yeah.
In a matter
For
of
sure.
days. So we have to keep it going where there's no end date.
Yeah.
So on that note, that's the end of our show for now, and I hope you guys have a safe time and have fun with your family tomorrow. And tell little champ I said hello.
Okay, I will.
I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.